find the funny. Find the funny in the tragic. Laugh at yourself. Like, don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. So that's why, like, don't be scared of like destroying your dignity, your status, your like idea of yourself. If you do it on your own, it's fine. You know, just like disrespect yourself a little bit. Women have like a emotional penis.
Emotional
and
penis.
Men have an emotional vagina. It can take years, way longer than for a woman open sexually, for a man to open emotionally. And that happens a lot, that women can abuse men emotionally, or can just like, come on, show me your feelings. So like, can like rub her emotional penis on the man's face. It's like, no, I don't want. Looking for approval makes you unsexy, actually. You know, like seeking for attention. Like that's telling other people that you don't have value. You know, if you're boring, no one wants to play with you.
Hello, welcome to Secrets of Life, and today we have Felipe Sáenz de Urturi here. I'm really happy to talk to you today. And today we're going to talk about sexual practices, relationship. I hope not politics. What do you think about politics? Shall we talk about that?
Did we start already?
Yes.
Oh, okay. We can talk about everything is related, so I'm open to talk about it.
Everything is related. So you think that
for
sexual
sure.
energy is related to conflicts and
Yeah,
wars?
yeah, to everything. Everything. We're all affected by everything that's going on, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you think we are affected?
Just everything that happens in a big scale, like politically, affects like a population, like, you know, like in the most fundamental things, you know. So if you have a whole population that is stressed about not being able to have enough money to eat, to have like a job, you know, like to have a house, to be paying bills for like a student loan or stuff like that, that starts affecting relationships, starts affecting sexuality, it starts affecting communication, you know. So of course it's completely related.
Everything.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that you
Yeah.
do sexual healing practices.
Do I?
Yes. You do. I mean, I think you are like a holistic artist and healer. Is that true, or how do you manifest yourself?
Okay.
What could you tell about yourself?
I would say I'm an artist before everything. And I've learned many different tools in different arts. Mainly work like as an illustrator, painter. I work in animation. I'm an actor as well. Have a background in dancing, different kinds of movement and massage.
Qigong.
And many things. Not Qigong, Kung Fu,
Kung Fu.
Wushu.
Is that different things?
Yeah, it's different.
Because I thought Qigong is like the general thing of working with energy, and then Kung Fu is like how you use Qigong, no?
It's different disciplines, yeah, as far as I know. But just like in this journey of my whole life, I just learned many tools that I understood that if I can put them in a therapeutic context, meaning like in a context where like a person is open to receive feedback and to, you know, to like have a look at themselves, you know, like if you're in that kind of situation and you bring an exercise that I learned from art from another purpose, then that could bring a lot of perspective in the person, you know, like if I bring like an exercise from Afro dance or a watercolor exercise, you know, that are not usually used in therapy because therapy is more intellectual, linguistic. I realized that it could bring like really like a perspective that is very unusual. So I started developing my own kind of therapy from art. So I do therapy through creativity and art, and in my system, the way I understand things work, I divide things in intellectual or linguistic, emotional, and sexual, or I can say like the how do you say in English, like pulsation, the desire, the body, or the body,
of life.
you know. Yeah.
So body, emotions, and
Intellect. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so do you work on all levels with people?
I feel like we have, these are like different doors that we can connect with people. So with some person you can connect like better intellectually, but emotionally nothing, or sexually nothing. Or with someone you can connect like emotionally really well, like you can cut on everything, but then you have a conversation, there's nothing going on, you know. Or sexually, you know, like you can connect sexually with someone, but nothing to talk about. Or, you know, you can have these combinations, and generally when you find like a partner, it's because like you have the three centers,
Matches,
you know.
3 matches at the time.
And some people also include like the spiritual, or, you know, there are different configurations depending on different like
chakra system, like you connect on different
chakras.
chakras.
That's a bit different, I feel, but it's also like it's kind of another
How is
story.
it different?
Because I feel chakras are more specific. This is more general. And chakras, like they go like into the throat chakra is like the expression, you know, like you have the root chakra. It's like you have, it's more in detail, you know. But I realized that with some people, if I start talking about a subject and I'm not able to connect intellectually, then I can go to an art exercise which will connect us like in a more emotional way, you know. So then I don't need to be like creating like really long like arguments, or like, because sometimes like even with people that are foreigners, you know, like their English is not very good, and then or in my own language, you know, like is not working, you know, like they're not good at articulating their ideas or expressing. So I rather go into something with either with the body, like movement. It can be like dancing or just like doing like exercises, or with art, which can lead you to like a more emotional expression, you know, and then it's more from the unconscious. So it's like that's the way I approach. With every person, it's kind of a completely different approach.
Combination.
Yeah, some people, because I do different kind of sessions. Some people want body work. They want to work with their sexuality. So I have a session that is like specifically to work with that. And here in Bali, it's what people are more like, sexuality, because it's like a big deal. For me, it's like another part of the whole spectrum. And I address it as part of nature, because I understood that it's natural, you know, to have, and like sexuality is part of what we are. It's just that in society, it's painted as this like, oh no, it's so dark, it's so like dangerous, or, you know, and it's also like associated with a lot of trauma, you know, and shame. So it's like a heavy one. But I also work with lots of people that would never go there. I don't even like suggest to go to like a body work or work with sexuality or anything, because like just having a normal conversation, I can tell that they have already like a lot of blockages. Their body language tells me like that's not the way, you know.
How do you see it in the body, that people are not allowed they don't allow you to go to the physical level?
Oh, it can be just like people that just are not very tactile. Like the moment like you say hello, you know,
You want to hug them?
they won't give a hug, you know. It's just like shaking hands,
don't
like this.
I don't give a hug.
You know, just like that. Hello. Just like stay there. So I'm not gonna go to that person. Hey, let's go to bodywork. You know, that can be super creepy and just
don't
like,
be so.
Yeah, you know, so
blocked.
Yeah, don't be blocked, like something like that. It's like,
what's your problem, you know?
Yeah, so I rather be like more listening to what I'm seeing, and then like going from the information that the person is giving me. You know, like in general, I work on invitation, and that's something that I tell men in general, like a little advice, you know, to whenever they want to approach someone, is to be aware of when you're going with your agenda, with like satisfying your desire, your
needs,
plan, your needs, and where are you coming from, like really listening to the other person. So one of the first things is to receive like an invitation from the other person. Like if you're not, like if the other person is not asking you anything, or is not like really inviting you into their lives, or also in a sexual context, like if the person is not like asking you to have sex, you know, like having like a literal invitation to go there, then as a man, it's better not to like even start considering anything, you know, like you're once you're invited, then just then you can start deciding if you want or you don't want, you know, because it's like coming into someone's house because the door is open, you know, like no, you don't, you know, like you wait until you're invited, and then you decide like, do I want to go in the house or not, you know.
Is that the same for men and women, or is it different?
Yeah, that's also something like I really have a more neutral approach in general to conflicts, you know, like I like to always approach the like situations I work with, trying to get rid of all the labels possible, you know. So if it's I never use like the woman say this or man say this, you know. I try to avoid that as much as possible, because they're like generalizations that reduce the depth of what you can get, you know. It's just like kind of slogans, you know. And when you instead talk about the conflict itself, like the feelings that you're getting, and then you can get rid of all these like stories that come from culture, you know, and you can go deeper, really. Yeah,
that feels good. So you think that people can be like connected on the levels or not connected, but do you feel like we can still find this connection anyway, for example, emotional connection or like mental connection, or there are cases where when people are like, it's impossible no matter what to connect? How do you see this? Can we do something to get this connection?
Yeah, for sure it can improve, but it requires like a growth from both parts, you know, because there's like a really good story. It's very simple, you know, but my sister was working with some Chinese ladies back in like when she was living in Paris. She just like finished her fashion school, and she was doing an internship with this very like skilled Chinese lady that were doing like brodering, like a very like difficult technique of brodering. And my sister was having a hard time in the internship because she couldn't get it right, you know, and so she would ask a lot of questions all the time to the ladies. And these ladies, instead of just like getting upset with her, like, oh, how you're so stupid, they would just come and say like, oh, like, we're not explaining good enough, you know, our explanation is not good enough, you know, and they would get frustrated because they're not doing a good job at explaining. And for me, that has been like such a simple teaching that I later I've used in my life in general, you know, because the person who doesn't know, you know, like it's up to you, the one giving the information, to find new ways of connecting to the other person, you know, and like putting yourself in the other person's shoes. So there's like an analogy I use a lot also when I work with people, is that sometimes it's like you have a box of color pencils, you know, and you have like 50 colors to explain, to talk about like different subjects, you know, like you have a life where, in your case, you travel around Asia, you learn about Qigong, you know about the Tantra, you met people, you go, but maybe people from your family haven't had these experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So their box of pencils maybe has only like orange and gray, you know? And that's how they understand the world, through orange and gray, you know? You have all these like rainbow colors, you know, and you can get frustrated trying to explain green to them. And they will be like, what do you mean green? You know, and you say like, but green, see it, it's green. Like, no, what do you mean gray? No, green. Oh, orange. No, green. You know, so that's what happens in discussions many times, you know, like we fight and we get frustrated with people that are just not, they don't have the story, the evidence, the information to understand what you're saying. So the faster way you can understand that, like, look at yourself and see how can you adapt to the other person. So in a way, like, okay, if I'm going to communicate with this person, I get all my colors out and I leave just gray and orange. And I'm going to communicate with them through gray and orange, because that's the only way that they are going to understand me. And then one day a new color is going to appear in their box, you know. But it's about being empathic and just like being smart yourself, instead of like waiting for the other person to get smart, or, you know, like broaden their spectrum. Because if you don't have it, like, it's not going to come because
someone wants that.
Exactly. It's like when you're a teenager, you tell them like, oh, grow up. You know, it's not like, oh, thank you for telling me that. And now I'm a grown up, you know, like all this, like, it doesn't
really
happen like
conscious.
that, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, let's come back to the sexual practices.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to do that. So, how do you use sexual energy to heal people? How does it work?
Well, that's a big claim. I don't say I do sexual practices to heal people. I don't think I heal people. Yeah, I feel like people heal themselves if that it's something, you know.
Okay.
Well, it's such a big subject because
We have time.
yeah, it's just like there's so much insecurity and shame and trauma around sexuality that every time you get to that area, you know, it's like we've been taught to, you know, like feel like a rumble of society.
Overwhelmed.
You know, like with some people more than others, you know. But I feel it's the creative energy, as I see it, like more like if we understand this energy more than just sexual energy, I feel it's the energy of creation. You know, the more we start understanding that energy as that it can be like very pure and very magical, you know, it's like the energy that moves us to make everything, basically. We are here because of that energy. And unfortunately, in society, I feel like in culture, this energy has been like suppressed for political reasons, for like reasons of mass control, whatever, you know. But I feel like it's kind of whenever you start connecting to this creative energy, you start being less available for manipulation, for propaganda, or for just you start like understanding yourself better, you know, when you start like kind of connecting more to this creative energy. So I feel that it's been programmed so hard in our society that everywhere we go, when we grow up, you know, we're told like that there's something wrong with our sexuality, you know, and that leads to the biggest fear, basically, you know. So for women, there's like a range of like fear beliefs, and for men, there's other range of fear beliefs, you know. So it's super hard to deprogram ourselves sometimes about this traps, you know, that society put there for us not to get in contact with this energy. So it's important to understand that even when we're kids, we are connecting to this energy, you know, like we're curious about like playing like the doctor to playing like you know, like it's just like it gives us like such a peak of energy that it's like the biggest subject in a way for even for kids, you know, like it's just like it's so interesting, it's so like dangerous apparently, you know. So I feel that depending on where you were born, you would have more or less, you know, like taboos with this subject, of course. I was very lucky to grow up in South America, where it's more like natural in a way. It's connected to something more like playful in general. I'm generalizing here, you know, but it's more like I learn, you know, like that it's more like a beautiful thing. It's a thing from daylight, not from night, you know. It's something that brings you joy, that brings people together, that makes you feel amazing, you know. So I feel that in that sense I have like a kind of a register, like a kind of a set of information that it can be very healing for some people to be kind of exposed to someone that has like that view, you know, that it's like from like my core, you know, I feel it's something beautiful and it's connected to something that is not heavy at all, that it can be pleasurable and very bright and amazing, and it doesn't have to be like a big deal also, you know, like the more like you kind of put it in your life as another aspect of your life, you know, it's you know, like you relax the whole tension about it. Yeah, so I feel for men like there's like a pressure to perform in a certain way, you know, and that's a lot of pressure. That's for men is always like connected to being enough, you know, like being like the provider, the hunter kind of role. And for women it's like to be the muse, you know, to be beautiful, to be seen, to be appreciated, you know. So it's like both genders are like looking to satisfy these like threats that society puts on us, you know, and that creates like a lot of tension, like invisible tension always in the relationships.
Yeah, that's true. Can you name some beliefs, limiting beliefs for men and women in general?
Limiting beliefs?
Yeah, about sexuality.
About sexuality.
Yeah.
Well, a big one could be that I think it's for men and for women, but like to feel that the other person needs to like make you feel like a queen, you know, that's like a typical, like, or the other person needs to make you feel like a king, you know, like I feel that the moment you start expecting the other person to be the source of your approval, then that's when things start going downhill, you know, because it's putting expectation on the other that like the other person may never be able to satisfy that, you know. So the more you're able to connect with your own value, like really having a good time with yourself, enjoying what you're doing, what you can get through like connecting to, I would say, your passion, or something that is your passion at the moment at least, you know, like, but when you're in a flow of like doing something that it really like, it feels so much fun and so amazing, then someone else sees that, and it's like, wow, like I'm really enjoying seeing you like in this energy. I'm admiring this, you know. And then you can find at the same time someone that is also in their flow, and that's a very positive vortex, you know, of like inspiration. And when you have someone, in the other case, you know, when someone is shining, you know, and the other person is like, I want to be seen like that, you know, like look at me, you know, like I'm also shining, and the person is not really happy about their life, then it starts being like a draining kind of situation, you know. And there's like resentment happening a lot, you know, like you're not giving me this treatment, you know, you're not giving me. And for the other person can be like a loop of drainage, because they can never satisfy what the other person wants, you know. It's this like invisible thing.
So
yeah.
For sexuality, it means that you don't have to find someone to feel desired and sexy, or you can connect to your own sexuality and you don't expect it from outside. Or
I feel what makes you sexy, it's when you're really not needing anyone to validate you're sexy, you know, when you're not looking for someone to approve that, you know. Looking for approval makes you unsexy, actually, you know, like seeking for attention. It's like that's telling other people that you don't have value.
That's not
you know,
attractive.
I need you to validate my value, you know, in a way, like, and if you don't, then I'm invisible. And then it becomes just like a down spiral, you know. So the way I see it, for example, in dance, you know, when I'm enjoying like dancing with someone, it's when I see someone that they are really enjoying their dance, you know, and then we can start dancing, and I'm really enjoying my own dance. And then we're in such a flow, you know, that we're both having a great time doing our own dance, and at the same time, like dancing to like a common thing, you know. But at any point, the other person can go and keep going with their dance. I can keep going.
It doesn't ruin the
exactly.
dynamic.
It doesn't ruin the flow. And whatever happened is like, wow, that was amazing, you know, like I enjoy you, you enjoy me, you know, but it's like a celebration of the other, you know, and like, and how beauty was this, you know. And then you can just go on your way, but there's no like, hey, look at me, am I doing it right, am I doing it wrong, you know. And when you get into that kind of dynamic, it's like when you get it, like, you know, it's like, so sometimes I use a lot of dance in my therapy, and sometimes I feel someone wants to get that approval from me, you know. So they get stressed about like, they want to do like the movement right and something, and they get like so stressed, you know. And it's exactly the opposite of stress. Just like, so I hug them, like, okay, I just give them a hug. Okay, let's not move for a moment, you know, like listen to your breathing, just relax, you know, and then start like from whatever feels completely honest from your body. Maybe the music is not music that makes you move right now. So you don't need to move, you know. So be honest with whatever it's moving. Maybe you want to just lay down, you know, or maybe you want to start jumping, you know, but like kind of be honest with that, you know, instead of trying to satisfy the other person, you know, because you saw the other person is moving like at a flower or whatever, and you try to go like that, and like it's not really how you want to move, you know. But it's too much coming from that, like I want you to get I want to get your attention, and then it feels like okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So dance is a healing, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You think that, so you use it in your therapy too, dancing?
Yeah, I feel that dance in general, or even exercising, you know, like just starting to connect with your body. It's the most like basic, like breathing and moving are the most basic forms of developing awareness, you know, about yourself, You know, there's so much information that it's communicated from our body to ourselves. It comes from the body to our intellect in a way, you know. So sometimes you can talk all you want with someone, you know, but then I would give them like an exercise of like rooting, you know, like just working with the foundation, you know, and then they will see like, wow, like I'm all wobbly, you know, like I'm not, you know,
Standing.
like, yeah, like if I tell them to do like, okay, let's do like kind of a grounding kind of movement, and they're like super like fluffy, you know, and they see like their base is, it's really like unstable. And it's their body telling them like, oh, I'm really unstable, like I'm not able to ground this, like I'm all like shaking, wobbly when I do this, you know. So it doesn't matter how much I talk about that, but when the body is telling them, is showing them the experience, it just like gives them like a whole like amount of information that is not verbal, it's not intellectual, it is, but it's beyond intellect, you know. It's like before the words, you know. So whenever we start connecting with movement and our body, is like, it's amazing the amount of things that we start learning. It doesn't matter where you come from, where you live, what's your background, if you have money, you don't have money, what's your language, your culture. The moment you start like using your body, just using it, you know, like in a way that feels organic, you know, that's it's a gateway to, like, for me, as I understand, like to consciousness, to really start questioning yourself, understanding yourself. But if you're like 24 hours working on a computer, you know, like just like walking to your job or taking the bus or something, and you never do anything out of that, it's really hard to expand your ideas, your mind.
So consciousness is in the body.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you share some simple practices or something that can help people to get in contact with their bodies? How to start feeling your body when you're on the computer the whole day and take a bus to get to work, or you drive your car and you just don't move?
Well, a practice that has been like very helpful for me, it's very popular nowadays, is the Wim Hof breath work. There are many types of breath work, but I really like this technique in particular because it's very short, you know, it's very quick to do and very effective.
How long is that?
Can be like 20 minutes.
Okay, so you can Google Wim Hof.
Yeah, Wim Hof method, it's everywhere. WIMHOF. And if after that I do like just like 10-minute meditation every morning, and then I do cold bath, but even that can be like completely alien for most people, you know, like meditation, like maybe in this community or people that are into spirituality, it's like everyone meditates here.
Yeah,
but sure. You go to any city and it's like, yeah, I think I did it once, you know, it's like, it's not a thing.
It didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. I tried it.
I tried once.
I tried the meditation thing and it's like, okay. Just like developing awareness on if you're breathing or not. You can put like little labels in your house or in your car or whatever you are, and just like breathe. That's a very typical one, you know, but like many times we forget to breathe, you know, and just developing awareness on your posture. That's also something that can help you a lot. Like you're curving all the time. That tells, you know, like a whole story to your body. When your posture is in a protective position, you know, like you're protecting your emotions, you're protecting your neck, you know, because the neck is the first part that animals go for, you know, so that's like kind of a natural thing that we do. You go like this. When people feel like threatened, they would like shrink themselves.
Yeah, they will,
you know,
protect the heart and the throat.
Exactly. So that's something that I work a lot with as well. It's just like kind of developing awareness on how do you sit, how do you project yourself, you know, and what are you communicating to your body? Because if you're in a constant position of like protection, you're telling your body like we're in danger, you know, we still need to protect ourselves. So when you consciously kind of correct your posture, your whole system starts changing, you know, having like unconscious effect on that.
Different story.
Yeah, checking your shoulders, just like, because we tend to tense this same story. We do this to protect the neck as well. So this is like the first thing we do. Just like remember to put your shoulders down. So yeah, this could be like little tips, you know, like, because I think the most simple things are the ones that helps the most, you know, because if I say like go to Vipassana, like who's gonna go to Vipassana? You know, it's like a kid is in a favela in Brazil is watching it like, yeah, right, like what is that? But I don't care, you know. So yeah, that's something I also like to use as a parameter for anything that I'm working with, you know, like just neutralize the information, in the sense that I don't like using labels, you know, like I don't like using like the terminology of whatever philosophy I learned this from, you know, so I don't talk about yoni, I don't talk about lingam, I don't talk about the chakras even, you know, I don't talk about like the...
But you definitely use it.
I use it, but that's my thing, you know, like I process information, I use it whenever it feels necessary, and I adapt myself to the orange and gray color of the other person in a way, you know, just like to the codes of the other person. So I would talk about tension, I would talk about release, I would talk about the stress, you know, or like something that I know that I can relate to, you know, but I'm not going to go like to, yeah, because Ganesha energy is... You know, like no one understands that. And I'm asking to the other person to learn about this other thing, or the Shakti is then... I respect that, you know, but I'm in a way putting more pressure on the other person. Like now you have to learn about this.
And go and Google it.
And exactly. And the other thing is like, there's this belief that kind of enlightenment or awakening, opening consciousness or whatever, it's something that like it's only available in like if you have to go to yoga shala, you have to go to Vipassana, you have to go to spiritual practice and go to the tantra, whatever, like I don't believe that, you know, like I'm coming from another school, like I connect to maybe art and nature. That's would be like a plant medicine maybe, you know. That's what I grew up with, and I feel that we all came into this world in a specific configuration, you know, like if you were born in Beverly Hills or Sebastopol or Chile, Antarctica, you know, like it's like we all have the chance to activate
Antarctica.
That. Yeah.
You're a penguin?
Yeah, if you're a penguin in this life, enlightened penguin.
You know nothing about lingam and yoni.
No, maybe they do. I don't know. I've never talked to a penguin. But you can always reach that path, I feel. There's like always availability for that, you know, like I feel we're all, it may look like it's difficult, you know, but the society tells us, you know, like that the only way is like if you connect to yoga, if you do that. So there's also like a lot of
pressure on people.
And also like self, you know, like if people like, okay, I'm doing yoga, therefore I'm healthy, therefore I'm a better person. You know, there are this like all these cultural constructions around all these things, which is not really the case.
Spiritual ego.
Yeah.
My ego is smaller than yours, right?
Yeah, you know, or if you do like a certain amount of workshops, then you're almost enlightened. You know, it's like you're just like 2 workshops from enlightenment. You know, $2,000-3,000 workshop from enlightenment. Whereas like then you go to any rice field here, you know, like you see like the adong, you know, like the grandma, Balinese grandma, they're like just carrying their branches, rice, you know, like, and then they look at you and they give you a smile, like so full of love, and it's like, like it's like they're teaching you love and kindness with a smile, with no effort. And they're not having a school, they're not giving you a diploma or a crystal or whatever, you know,
Crystal,
like
yeah.
they invite you to have some tea, you know, they teach you about generosity and kindness in such a powerful way. So the school of love, in a way, is present in many situations in our life. It's about to being able to recognize it, you know, so no matter where you live, the school of love, you know, it's always there. It's always available. And we all have memories of that. Otherwise, we would not be living here. You know, that's what keeps you alive, you know? So we had memories of someone that taught you that. At one point, you know that that person had the truth. And you know it, you know? It's like, wow, yeah, that makes me remember what I am, you know? That's what I want to be. You know, we all have that in our lives.
Yeah.
And that is beyond any workshop diploma or, you know, like this kind of Western approach to everything, you know, like everything comes in stages and packages, and like everything is improve and getting a goal, you know. It's like a way to commercialize all these things, but it's not about that. The more you're able to recognize and tune to that feeling, that, you know, it makes you feel good, you know, it makes you feel like a better human
That's true.
person, you know, like.
That's true. I remember the person who brought me to yoga and showed me a lot of things and invited me deep into spirituality and yoga. She was not certified as a yoga instructor, but she changed my life like that. And then I took a lot of classes and workshops and stuff, but it all started with her. And she was just my friend, not a professional yoga teacher, but we did yoga together. And that's true. Not all certified people really do well just because they have this paper.
Exactly. That's a myth. That's a very big myth, you know, like even with therapists, you know, it's like there's like a lot of shaming on alternative therapies. It's like you should go to a real psychologist or something.
University.
I grew up going to a lot of therapy. I went to lots of psychologists that really fucked me up. Like, yeah, they had the best diplomas, you know, so they can also
my life.
get it wrong, you know. It doesn't give you. I had many friends growing up that went to psychology school. They got their diploma, and they were asking me for advice with their clients, you know, because they're completely lost, you know, and so it's not a guarantee, you know, and there's too much belief in that, you know. There's too much validation of that authority, you know, like that structure. And I feel the more we're able to question this arrangements, you know, and just really compare it to whatever felt real in your life, it's when we start like kind of finding our own path.
Yeah, that's true. You mentioned those loving Balinese people, and you feel love immediately and you feel it from them. What is love and how can we feel it? What is this thing?
For me, I say like love for me is unity. It's something that is for me separate from separation. You know, it's like there's a separation and there's like absolute unity. And some people say like, but separation is also part of love or something. Yeah, I don't know. You know, like for me, I want to keep it in a sense of integration. So to put it in a simple way, in a simple example, you know. Maybe your best friend had a baby one day, you know, and she comes with her baby, and he hands you her baby to take care of her for a moment, you know. the level of like the honesty in the care that you're going to give this creature, it's so absolute, you know, it's so undeniable that you're going to make sure that the baby is like in the best possible position, everything, you know, like you're going to treat it with like absolute like love, you know. So it's this kind of like innate devotion, this like feeling of unquestionable, you know, it's unconditional. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel that whenever we have a conflict, we may tend to separate sometimes, like this person hates me, this person treated me bad or whatever. So there are ways to find like we can give, you know, like we can believe in this, you mm-hmm. can go into full separation, or we can find new ways of integration or love, you know, like how can I understand this person? Okay, this person is reacting from fear, you know, this person treated me bad because they're like in panic. Mm-hmm. Or the situation generated something that made them feel so afraid that they attacked me, just like a dog that has been hurt. You give them food and they're like, you know, and they will bite you, you know, and then you can be like, fucking dog, you know, like, and beat the dog or whatever. Or you can just like understand that the dog has been beaten, you know, for years, you know, and then be more careful, find ways, again, the gray and the orange, you know, like how can I approach, how can I integrate, mm-hmm. how can I be bigger than this situation? And that helps a lot with when you have to deal with parents or grandparents, with members of the family, that it's like kind of situations that you can't get out of, you know, like it's not your choice in a way, like the team that you grew mm-hmm. up with, you know, and mm-hmm. then how can you be bigger than the conflict, you know, and be able to expand your awareness of what is going on, mm-hmm. understand them, you know, from their perspective. You know, like something that I see a lot here, people that left their kind of like city life, Western life, and came into like spiritual research. There are many people that are criticized by their family mm-hmm. by doing this. Like, what are you doing with your life? You're just wasting your energy, yeah. your years. You're wasting
you're escaping life.
You're escaping life. You're
on your
not,
island.
You studied. You spend money in you. You know,
absolutely,
like
yeah.
you know, like there's so much of that. You know, and what they're doing is they're like giving you their best possibilities, you know, their best advice from mm-hmm. their perspective, from what they experienced. So if you're able to understand where they're coming from and understand that they're coming from love, they're not pushing you away, but they're giving you their best because they don't know what is to be in Asia. They grew up in a completely different culture. They grew up with other codes, you know, where you had to get a job, you had to get married, you had to, this is what you do to achieve happiness, even if they're not happy at all. Mm-hmm. And they did all the things, but they're not able to see that, you know? And maybe you realize this because you saw them not getting happy and then you had to go somewhere else to find it, you know? So the way to deactivate these things is to come from an integrative view mm-hmm. and understand like that you have to develop a filter when you talk, when you have interactions with these people, you know? And it's like, okay, they're saying horrible things to me because they love me, because they really want the best for me, the best way they can do it, and they're mm-hmm. desperate that something bad is going to happen to me. So that's why they're being like very, you know, like stressed about it and everything. Mm-hmm. But the more you can filter that, then you will be able to start like a communication when they can understand that you're actually well, even if you're unhappy or struggling at times, you know, but like it's your path. But coming from that place, the place of love, you know, it can start bringing communication instead of like, stop telling me what you do, you don't understand, whatever, you know, that's going to keep extending the conflict.
Yeah, that's true. Or teaching them back that you are not living your life the best way, you know.
Yeah.
It's all about like acceptance and compassion.
It's kindness, it's acceptance, but it starts with yourself always.
So how to love yourself?
Yeah, that's the hardest one.
How to feel compassion for yourself?
Biggest challenge. I guess. Yeah, like first it's start developing awareness, like on where you don't love yourself. What kind of situations are repeating in your life, in which context, you know, like maybe with your partners, your lovers, your family. There's patterns that keep repeating, you know, that are limiting your options, basically. So the more you're able to recognize these patterns, you will start like seeing like, where am I not loving myself, you know? If you feel that you're not enough, you know, you're not feeling seen, it's not the other person that is not looking at you. It's your wound in a way that is being activated by that, you know. So the more you're able to work on yourself and realize this kind of mechanism that we use, then we can start deciding to change this and see if we love ourselves and develop ways to love ourselves. So it's very simple in a way, you know, like it has to do with finding situations, just like creating like a very simple list of things that make you really happy, you know, like when are you the funniest, you know, when are you the more creative, maybe when you're with your friends, when you're going to dance, you know, what brings you to a best version of yourself, you know, and then trying to isolate the variables, you know, that are creating this feeling inside of you. So maybe you think it's when you go out with friends and you drink alcohol, and then it's like, oh, it must be the alcohol. Like, no, maybe the alcohol is not what makes you happy. It may like add to the situation, but it's like a whole set of things that is creating this feeling inside. And the more you're able to tune into this feeling of full yes, of full excitement, it's what can lead you to extend that feeling in time, you know. So then you can start like recognizing when a situation is not feeling this full yes, then you can start just like isolating and like reducing your availability for that situation, and being more available for situations that create more of this. And you go like from like a landmark to the next one, you know, like to the next situation that can bring this level of excitement, and then you can extend it in time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So your brand is called White Magic Artist. What is magic, and do you think that magic exists?
So yeah, like on Instagram, I'm White Magic Artist. Is like, yeah, I could say like it's my brand in a way. I don't feel I am the White Magic Artist, but it's like more like a general thing that we can access to. I use this name because I feel it's coming from the belief that we are able to just like we're always doing black or white magic with the things we do, with every action, every word, everything that we create in the world. We're like creating little spells, you know. Magic for me, it's in general has to do with understanding, like, or being open to understand that things work in ways that we are just not able to understand, you know, like the kind of parameters that we have been taught by society are actually very limited, including science, you know, and we live in this times where like science is a religion, basically has become a religion, you know, and like it's very dogmatic, you know. We saw this with the COVID thing, you know, like it's like not being able to even question, you know, the
anything, yeah.
And I believe that we ignore most things, you know, in general, of everything, and believe that we know things, or that we know. How are we going to know the things that we don't know? You know, it's absurd, you know, it's just absurd, you know. So just thinking that all the things that are unknown for us from a scientific perspective, we're gonna reach a point where we're gonna know them through the scientific perspective, which is kind of a belief that comes from science, you know. I feel it's not very scientific. It's quite limiting, you know, like, because it's just like a new paradigm that didn't exist at one point. You know, we had like alchemy, we had like animism before, we had like witchery or whatever. Like we all had like different. We have different cultures that came from completely different understandings of what is going on. You know, I'm from a belief that everything it's just really, 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 really weird and really strange, really, really strange, and that has fascinated me since I was a kid. I was just like completely puzzled with the idea of like just waking up in the morning and not understanding, like asking like, but where do I go when I'm sleeping? But where do I go? Do I exist when I'm sleeping or not? Because I don't remember. Like, how do I know that I didn't just came up with everything in the morning? You know? How do I know that I existed before? And it's just like not the memory that I had, you know? So, you know, all these questions that kid made, you know, like, oh, he's so clever. It's like, that's what you do when you come up here in this like weird thing, you know, this weird experience of being conscious, you know, of being aware, whatever this is. So I feel that the magical thinking for me has to do with connecting with a state of absurdity, connecting to the mindset that we have when we're kids, in a way, you know, that it's extremely powerful. That when you're a kid, you can just like give you like a red blanket and tell you like this is like from a king. And as a kid, you're like, really? Yeah, it's from a king. You know, and then you just like believe it right away, you know, and you can go with kids, you can go into dialogues that can last forever. You know, like I used to work with kids at some point, and it's just like so much fun.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, because they live in a logic that it's more real and more logic than the logic that we live now. That is absurd. You know, like the thing that to believe that things are like never going to change and structures are there for like there's a way to live. That is absurd. That from my understanding, that is absurd. You know, but kids come from like a completely random and like open kind of mindset. So the magical thinking for me has to do with that, you know. And then I understand how we are always working with symbols. Everything is kind of a maybe group of particles, you know, that are symbolizing things, you know, like every object is a symbol of something. So in the work I do, I just use a lot of symbols that can carry meaning, and work through the symbols to address other kind of situations. So, for example, if you have a relationship with a parent that is very complicated, and I start talking about your connection to your parent, that can be very triggering for you. Saying that this is good, this is bad, or this is like, could be different. Like even things that are causing pain to us could be very triggering for us because it's my pain, it's my trauma, it's my, don't touch it, you know? So the way I approach is to work with art, and we create like a little statue or a little painting or, you know, something.
Voodoo?
Is like a what?
A voodoo thing?
A voodoo, yeah, also like
Voodoo.
a voodoo doll. I actually use like a loving voodoo dolls, you know?
So you don't punch them?
No, you treat them well.
Oh.
But you
okay.
create a voodoo
Boring.
doll of your boring. You can punish them if you want. You can do whatever you want. But creating a symbol of the conflict allows you to work on the symbol instead of working on the story itself or with the person. You know, so that's the kind of playful, like magical mindset of that we have when we're kids. The imagination tool, you know, that allows us to heal something like through a proxy in a way, like through a third object. And then we work on this one and we heal the unconscious, you know, we heal the real, like real situation. I work with just different ways where we are always, like, for example, if I tell you to pick up an object from my garden, you know, and ask, I can ask you, can you please tell me how is this object like your present situation? You're gonna start like, you're gonna have information to write a book about it, you know, because like it's all here, it's inside.
Yeah.
You know, so when you use like tarot cards or astrology or whatever, we are projecting the information in the object. It doesn't matter. So I use this also. I've done it like with people, like just I go and pick 3 objects and I tell you, please read my objects, you know, read my present situation. I ask you a question, I bring you a pencil, a rock and a leaf. And you're going to be able to read me, give me a very accurate reading of what is happening in my life. You know, it's funny, but the moment, like, but no one does it, so that's why it's not a thing, you know. So I have many exercises where I use these kind of things, you know, like you can get the information from symbols, from and it looks like magic, but it's not. It's just like we're just not using these alternative tools or these like more creative paths because they're not official. It's not how you do things, you know.
It's not a method. You don't have a diploma.
Exactly, that is not
Rock pencil therapy.
It's so absurd. So I have like this kind of magical, playful thinking, you know, that allows us to access information that has always been there. You know, like something I do. Like I say to people, like, yeah, I can read hands. And they're like, you know, like, yeah, okay, what's my line life or something.
Okay, can you read my hand?
Yeah, and then what I tell them is like, I don't read lines, I don't read palms. It's just like, if you just, it's very simple, you know, like if you are able to feel the skin, for starters, you know, like you can feel the level of moist, you know. For me, water is connected to emotions. Skin is the wall between the internal and the external.
Yeah, that's true.
So what I've seen, this is my belief, it's all fantasy. So is that when people have like more moist hands, tend to be more affected by the external world, you know, tend to be more permeable, you know, like the level of influence that the others can have in you is bigger than people that have like more dry hands, you know. Then you can like like, immediate, just with a handshake, you can see how flexible, you know, the hand of the person is.
Okay, read my hand. Let's do it. This is a wild durian. Attacked me.
Wild durian.
Yeah, it's the fruit.
So yeah, like when people have like your hands are quite like normal, flexible, like it's not like crazy flexible, but it's like more in the flexible range. So that for me, it's like has to do with the harder is the more like rational, masculine, structural kind of thinking.
Oh, wow.
When it's more flexible, has to do with more like the fantastic,
Okay, give me your
or
yeah,
you know, like open-minded, more like the ethereal kind of like more feminine. If you in the sense of like the way that we construct the world. So if you talk to like a worker, like a, you know, like a construction worker, you know, like maybe you will find that their hands are like really like kind of chunky, you know, like and rigid. Not always, of course, but in general. And that's very coherent with a mindset where their life is very like a routine, you know, and life it's about like it's about having a job and having this and that, and that this comes after, and the family is this, blah, blah, blah. So the structure, the construction of reality, how things are, is very rigid, you know. When you have someone like this in more like a hippie community, woo, you know, like you have like very like elastic hands in general, because everything can happen. Like everything is more magical, like life happens in funny ways and everything. So the structure of how things work, the world, tends to be more elastic, you know.
Okay.
So these are like just like two first things, you know, that you can see in people and check it, you know, like then you can see things in the skin, you can read things from like this part also.
Do you have an online course how to read hands?
Not online yet. Okay, but it's about observing. Like, and if you start like touching the person's hand for a while, and you can start like kind of getting more information. It can be not only from the hand, you know, it can be from the conversation, but it's like allowing ourselves to know things without having a diploma, without having a certifications, you know, like being more playful, allowing things to be different, you know, like I've worked with people that believe in Jesus, in Allah, you know, people that believe in science, very hardcore. Now I can say it's a belief because it's also a belief. It's not like they say like science is not a belief, it's a system. It's like based on evidence, but nowadays it feels like it's a belief system. And I had people that believe in what's his name, Brad Pitt. You know, like
what do you mean?
That they are like in love with Brad Pitt, and that's like the biggest like icon. Yeah. So I have people that believes in past lives, people that believes in crystals, people that believes in chakras, people that, you know. And the more you grow up and you hear like what everyone is believing, you know, it's like for me it's all like doesn't matter, and it's not less valid than. One is not less valid than others. It's just like, for me, it makes more clear the feeling that this is all absurd, you know? We're all like using symbols to attach to some feelings, you know, and this kind of symbols that I'm using are making me connect to a feeling that is not visible, it's not tangible, you know? But every time I work with someone, I'm not going to mock their beliefs, you know. If they talk in light language and they talk or talk in speaking tongues, you know, or it's it may be funny at one level, but in like a deeper level, it's as funny as talking in English, you know, speaking in English, or believe that I'm from Chile or you're from Russia, you know, like all these beliefs are as funny as the stupid, playful beliefs that a kid can have. It's all absurd, you know. So the more we're able to understand the absurdity of this theater that we're having, you know, and just connecting to all the things that is not measurable, and validating that as more real than the not measurable, the not tangible, then I feel like we can start connecting to something deeper.
Something inside.
Yeah,
outside.
something more real. Yeah.
So you think that inside world is more real than outside world, or they're equally valuable?
I feel, of course, there's like a cooperation, you know. It's like they're both like giving feedback to each other in a way. Like a simple example, you know, that I always say, it's like if you imagine a situation where you were like intoxicated with food or something, you're in the hospital, or you don't even know where you are, you're feeling just with fever, you don't know if you're like wearing clothes, or if you wash your hair is long, or you don't care. In that moment, you're just like pain, you know, like you don't know anything. Your like mind is blurry. You don't care about your diplomas in that moment. You don't care if you're sexy or not, if you're having Instagram followers or not. You don't care how much money you have in your bank account, which can be like the most terrifying thing in the world to look at, you know, but like you don't give a shit in that moment. It doesn't exist. So all these things that are taking so much of our energy, like in 1 second, gone, completely irrelevant. All things connected to the physical, they have no importance in that moment. What do you like? What's the only thing that you think about? I mean, it's like, I don't know. I want my mom.
Suffering.
I want my puppy. You know, I want my
water.
The only connection that feels relevant for you, the only love connection, maybe your grandmother. You know, maybe like the only thing that feels real for you is gonna pop up, you know, in that moment, because that's the closest to what you are. That's the real thing that we are at the end. When you are in a situation where when you leave all these things, then the real comes up. That's why stressful situations like makes us like grow up, you know, so all the other things is just like construction, and right away we leave them in one moment. Your problem with your ex, well, it doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. You know, it goes away. Yeah. So for me, the closest to reality that I can think of is love connections. Our love connections define the most tangible, like core to like, or not even, it's not tangible. It's like what we're real. You know, what makes real. Then, like, if we talk from a physical point of view, I believe that we are just consciousness, and wherever we focus our attention becomes something, basically. So, you know, like everything is potential until someone puts their attention in that, and then that, you know, like in quantum physics, there's like this quantum state where like you're like both states at the same time, you know, and then like whenever like the particle is observed, then it takes a position, you know. So I feel that that's kind of how it works. Wherever we put our intention, you know, it crystallizes in a way, and then it becomes a thing. And then, but then things, I feel like the physicality of things is just like a real, like dispensable vessel for information, in the sense that it disappears right away. So that's why things are being held, energy is being held just for a moment. If you don't use it, if you don't do any, or it's not if you don't, like you're gonna do like as much as you can with things when they're in a state, you know, like, but then they're going to lose that state. If you think of your life 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you think of the places that you used to visit, the clubs, the friends, the studies, whatever, none of that exists anymore. You know, not because they were destroyed or anything, you know, but the things are configured in a different way. So like energy was in a set that was usable in that moment. So you can go back to 15 years ago and finally tell the guy you like, I love you. That doesn't exist anymore. That guy doesn't exist. He's another person. The place is not the same. The codes are not the same. So the physicality of things, it's changing constantly. So the faster you're able to see opportunity and act on the things as they're configured right now is kind of the only thing you can do. You know, we're trapped in the present. And the more you're aware of that and let go of past stories, because they lose configuration, you know, like they just like disintegrate. So it's funny how we can get stuck in the past, like trying to, like wanting something to change still. It's like, no, it doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't like has any value. Or the same with the future. We can be stressing about the thing is gonna come up in this configuration specifically, like, no.
Time traveling.
Yeah, but at the end, you know, it's just so absurd, because you can see how 10 years ago, 5 years ago, you could envision yourself doing this or that, and then you see how things are, and it's like completely different to whatever you picture. There may be this and this thing that you were able to manifest, you know, like, but in general, like everything is like completely different, you know. So the more you're aware of that very limited window of action that we have, which is being in the present, you know, and the more effect you can have in your environment, in your life.
But do you believe in manifestation? Do you believe that we can manifest things? And
that's all we do. Oh, that's all we do. Like there's no manifestation. Like that's kind of what I was saying before is wherever you're putting your intention, wherever you're putting your consciousness, it's getting arranged in a specific way, you know, in order to exist. So in that sense, there's like this, that people say like the universe has only one answer, and it's yes. You know, so the universe, or whatever you want to call it, you know, it's always yes. So if you want to feel miserable, yes, gonna give you more of that feeling. You know, you feel failure, yes, be a failure. You know, like, and we can say, no, I want to be successful. Okay, keep wanting to be successful. You know, so there are like many ways to work around that. You know, but it's for sure, I feel like we kind of manifest, we want it or not, what we want, you know, and whatever is keeping us away from what we want, you can have a conversation with yourself and have an honest conversation with yourself and see how you're also wanting other things. And it's not that you're not wanting the thing that you can say publicly that you want, but there are other things that are also feeding other parts of you that are taking energy from what you say that you want. So it has to do with like this more internal dialogue that you can only have with yourself. Some people can help you to get some perspective in that, but even things that are harming us, only we know inside, like, why am I still holding to this? You know?
So what is the best way to manifest something you want?
The best way to manifest something that you want? I I guess it's connected to like the previous question. Just the more you're able to be in a state of recognizing the state of like full excitement or full yes, you know, or like I call it like the elf state, you know, like when you feel like you're or a fairy state.
Mm-hmm.
Just when you're happy, you know, when you're in a state where you're like taking care of yourself, you're feeling good about yourself, you're feeling creative, you're feeling funny. That's a very important one. It's
Why?
like it's so like it's just like a very high state of vibration, you know, like when you're feeling just like, oh, we have the dogs are feeling funny. Just is a really good sign of a yes, you know, state of yes. It's when you're more creative and when people are attracted to you and can like open themselves to you because you're feeling positive, you're feeling bright, you're like, and I feel that when you start extending this feeling in your life, then things start being attracted to you in general, you know, like all kind of things. You start like it's the same way that you're attracted to people. You know, when you get like you see someone that is really beautiful, really attractive, you know, it's like and it's always because there's something in them that it's feeling like authentic, it's feeling like just like they are doing themselves, you know, they're doing what makes them fully happy. And that's the best, like that's the good thing about it, you know. It's like that's the best thing you can do for everyone else, you know, is to be happy yourself. That's the most generous thing that you can do actually for the rest, because that's a state where you're more helpful to others, you know, when you're like in full excitement and passion, not when you're desperate in stress, you know.
Yeah, you can do nothing for other
So the best
people.
way to manifest things is to get rid of stress first of all. Whatever way you find for that, it will open, you know, a path of discovery, you know. But like being able to recognize that stress is taking you away from what you want.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Can you share some magical case story about like healing or magical transformation from your sessions and from your experience, healing experience?
So what can I share about?
No names, no details, so you can share the most magical one.
Just like very simple things, you know, like maybe not the most magical one, but I feel like it gives a good example on the way we store things in the body. I was working with a lady long time ago that had a problem with not feeling respected, not feeling like seen, not in her relationship and or her job. She was super smart. She had like a high position, you know, and
a lot of diplomas.
Lots of diplomas, all the diplomas, you know, and then she got this like kind of important job, and no one respected her in the office. And she was a really nice person, you know. So she was telling me about this asshole, you know, that was like her like subordinate, so the guy under her in the hierarchy of the office. And he would just come late every time. She would give him some task to do, and then he would not have it in time, and she would get in trouble because of this, you know. And so I asked her, okay, like, please show me, let's do like a theater, you know, like, and let's have a conversation, and show me how do you communicate this to this guy. So let's say like his name was Tim, you know. So she would just like just come and tell. I don't know if the camera can catch that, but yeah. So she would show me, you know, like first she was like that, all hunched. She was already like short, but she was just like taking all the power away in a way. So Tim was taller than her, and she would go like, Tim, like every time I tell you to come at 7 and you come at 9, and I ask you to bring all the informs, and then you never bring them, you know. So I'm really tired of this. So tomorrow you really have to come at the time. And the guy was probably, I was just like standing there, you know, like in the theater. Okay, let's do now in the other extreme. Okay, so I tell her to just like sit down and just lose all the tension in her body, kind of melt. Okay, now I'm Tim again. Tell me the same. Tim, I'm really tired that you never come in time, and every time I tell you to come with the reports, you never have them in time, and I'm really tired. So then she would feel it in her body, how like the incoherence, you know, in the energy, like the message that she's trying to convey, and her body. And then we had like a third approach with full energy. So I had asked her to just like tense her whole body, put her hands in like a like punching position, and breathe through the nose. Like I did like a few, you know, like kind of tensing exercise, and then tell me the same. Tim, every time you come in the morning, like you come late, and I ask you to please bring the, you know, and then it's like for her a way to check where is her energy, you know, like in comparison with her body. And she saw like complete relaxation of the body, complete tension of the body, and kind of the normal way. And she realized that maybe this extreme is not the level of kind of anger that she needed to confront that situation. Maybe the kind of fighter mode is a bit too much, but it was between her normal and the too much, you know? I show her that whenever she was speaking, she was holding the energy. She was holding like, this is like strength, you know? And then she would just let it go. So it's like, she's showing like, I have the power and I let it go. And I hold it and I drop it. I hold it and I drop it. So you're communicating that you have like no value, that you can hold to your strength, to your value. So the work I started doing with her, and then she continued doing that, was to do like climbing, wall climbing, and do pull-ups, you know, and of course like correct the posture, you know. She was like always hunched, so there are like exercises to correct the posture on the wall, just like you have to hold your head in a specific position, and then that corrects your posture. And that completely changed the dynamic, you know, in her environment, and it's so simple, but just like developing awareness with a tiny exercise can bring you like, wow. You know, it's just like giving a moment. And that's why therapy is good in general, you know, because sometimes we just need someone that says like, oh, you're doing this, you know, and then we do the whole work. So that's why the healing, I feel it happens in the person. It's like, if someone is working as therapist, like the only thing you can do is just like suggest some exercises, some tools, you know.
That's true, yeah.
But the real journey is it's always on us.
And then Tim was like, who is that?
Yeah.
What did they do in Bali?
Yeah, so it's and it's funny because she didn't care about Tim anymore. Not in a bad way, not in a good way. She just became
Different person.
like more comfortable with herself. And then she would remember, like, oh, I remember Tim used to be like a thing for me, you know, but it didn't happen like I'm gonna do it because I want to, you know,
Prove
like get
something.
my revenge or something from Tim. That would not take you there, you know. It's just like when you get so excited about something that is positive, that makes the other part just like less interesting. You know, you just don't give more attention to the things that were causing you pain before.
Yeah, like seeing how you communicate with people, with women also, it makes me feel really nice, and it warms my heart all the time. It feels like you love everyone around you. How can we develop this loving kindness for all the people around us, no matter how they behave and what they do, or our illusions about what they do to us?
No, it's all theater. I just hate it. No.
Oh, it's all theater. Okay.
No,
So
I think.
you're a cruel asshole.
Yeah.
And you're just like smiling to people, and they're like, "Oh, he's so friendly."
Yeah,
And
no,
then
I
he has
think.
his voodoo doll, and just
Yeah, I have
punch.
voodoo dolls for every person in
for
Bali.
me, for me too.
A big one.
A big one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel
Well,
honored.
I guess like it has to do with the same thing I told you before. Like I just got to like more in a personal journey. I feel I was in a space of like kind of like a end of the road kind of situation when I came here, and I decided to just give another chance to life, you know, and my super tactic was to I had some savings, you know, like and I thought like, okay, I'm gonna use all my resources just doing things that make me happy. You know, like before, you know, I was just like, I wanted to just end everything, you know, wanted to kill myself at one point, you know, and I was like in a state here where I was like, okay, my plan is I'm gonna spend my money, the little money I had, only in things that make me like completely happy, you know, like the super full yes. And when I run out of money, then I kill myself. But
Nice strategy. You mean when you came
But-
to Bali?
yeah. But I mean, like I'm joking, but kind of not in a way, you know, like because I had nothing to lose, you know. I was in a situation where I felt like I lost everything, you know, and I had a whole life before, you know, like like a professional life and everything, you know, and like with people and situations and everything. I had to kind of cut with everything I was, and so here I was kind of nobody, and I started connecting with like I said, I'm gonna dance, which is what makes me happiest, the happiest. I'm gonna be drawing, writing, and having conversations with people, just like which is like I love taking care of people in general. It's something that is very innate in me, and just being kind. You know, that's what I felt. It's been the only thing from like that has helped me heal or feel loved. You know, when people are kind to me, I really, really, really value that. You know, so I would go eat to the places that people are nice. I don't care if it's chicken, if it's vegan or vegan. No, if the people cooking are nice, that's the food I want to eat. You know, and I was just like Bali magic. You know, like the first year I didn't need to pay rent because people like me and they would like let me stay in their houses. You know, like amazing houses. I would go to dance. I would have like this like amazing life where like things were kind of there for different reasons, you know, but things started like just coming together. So and then I started running out of money, you know, and then I was living from a loan I got from the bank, and I was like, every time I was getting money, I was like, oh shit, okay. And I was like terrified about my bank account, you know. I didn't fear ghosts or death or any of, for me it was my bank account. It was like so stressful, you know. And I know many people have the same situation, you know, but it's not talked enough actually. But I just kept doing the things that I really, really love, and I was in this state of kind of detachment, of like not having anything. That it felt very easy to connect to me, because I was in a very genuine, vulnerable state. There was some, it reminds me of, there's like a Japanese workshop of laughter, you know, and one of the exercise they teach is like you get in front of the other person, and you have to, I have some scissors. I have scissors.
That was dangerous.
So you have to show your pockets like out like that, and with the other person, you know, like you stand with your pockets out, and you have to go like that. You start laughing. You know? And that's like a laughing exercise, you know, like, so you stand in front of the other person, just like laugh. With you have to like put your shoulders up, you know, and just like, because it's like this state of not having anything. I don't have anything to lose. You know, it's a state of vulnerability, absolute vulnerability. Being able to just laugh at yourself, you know, and I feel that makes you very approachable, you know, and made me also kind of love myself, you know, because I realized like I felt like I reconnected with something that I felt was beautiful and valuable. You know, I felt like I love what I do. You know, I really love what I do, and I feel like I'm getting so much love from doing what I'm doing. You know, and I'm like, I was not making any money with it, but I felt like I was helping so much people, so many people, that I was receiving gifts and just like. Really beautiful letters, you know, from people that I talked to, like eventually here and there and there and there, and then that felt like yeah, this is who I am, you know, and I feel that yeah, that's kind of what makes me maybe like very loving or approachable. It's just like understanding. Being empathic to suffering in general, you know, like, and understanding what it feels to be in the limit, you know, of like wanting to give up, not once but many times, you know. So yeah, like I guess yeah,
and then people started paying you money for help and for what you were doing and what you liked to do with no payment, right? How did it
turn
happen
into
a job?
Like a business, like
a business,
money-making machine.
Money-making machine. No, I don't say it.
Yeah, no, no. I just like well, I started. I kept working as like artist, like an illustrator. So eventually I would get like some, like every time I was like in the brink of like not having any more money, you know, like I would get this like big projects from like a film that was being developed like in LA, and they still see me as an artist, so I would do like some concept art or something, and then that would like allow me to get like a few months here. So that was on one side, selling some art. And then I also started seeing the need of creating this kind of context, like this kind of like healing, loving context that I was able to create in dance. When I was dancing with women, particularly in contact, I developed my own style, which mixes wushu, which is what I used to do before, or kung fu is like martial arts. It's
so
like
you punch them.
I would punch them really until they're feeling grateful for life. Though wushu is actually like a performatic thing. It's not for combat. There's a combat modality, but it's apart. But the wushu is like the film that you see in action films, like in martial art films. So it's very like performatic. It's like really beautiful to watch. And I mixed that I was practicing for many years, mixed with massage and mixed with meditation and contact. So I kind of moved in a way that it's like it kind of creates a trance state. It was not in purpose, but it was like kind of how it came together, and for my own story, and being also in this very, very pure state of like kind of like gratitude, vulnerability. I felt like I don't know how, but I started dancing with women, and then after a while they would be just like kind of like completely relaxed and in full trust with me, even though like sometimes I didn't even see their faces, but there was like this level of trust and like surrender that was very impressive, and then with time, like getting like lots of tears, or they would get like turned on and they would get like even orgasms, a couple of times.
On the dance floor, yeah. Famous Felipe orgasms.
Yeah, Feligasm. I don't know.
Welcome to the dance floor.
Yeah, and so I felt like this is really something, I haven't seen this happening with other men, and the things that I would hear like as feedback after were like really deep, and it's I would be very honest, like I don't know, like it's you, but then I started recognizing that there was like a pattern with me, that I was able to hold space, to be present in a specific way that was like creating this, and just like having a level of intimacy that I haven't seen in couples that are like 10 years together and they don't even touch each other, and in 10 minutes I was seeing like this like level of trust. So I decided to create a session where I would kind of reproduce this feeling of safety, this feeling of like surrender, and I created through like a massage session. There's massage that mixed like different techniques, like from shiatsu to Thai massage, Swedish massage, tantra massage, and I created a session that kind of takes you, I call it like a blissful bodywork journey, because it's like a journey from different like states, because it can feel like very loving and cozy to feeling very erotic and sensual and orgasmic, and then like painful, and like to take you to like more sadness, or everyone reacts differently, of course, but like my idea was to kind of create this kind of journey of like scanning the body through different emotions, and then with time I started just like being more sensitive to, I don't know if I want to call it energy because it's too like general, but I realized that I was able to feel in my body kind of a physical feedback of something that was happening in the other body, in the other person, and I started just developing a intuitive way of guiding this energy moving, and then I didn't sometimes need to touch, but just like kind of like moving things, which felt like a very
magical.
Very magical, very cool also, you know, but it was developing as I was like giving sessions, and then also in the dance floor, you know, and sometimes I can hug someone and just like start like feel like I can move things, you know, I can feel like kind of there's like a unbalance or something that needs to be moved to another place to be in harmony, if I can put it in words, you know, and it feels very clear, just very clear. So in some ways, like I'm just talking directly body to body, beyond me being Felipe and beyond being the other person with their name, you know. So it's like it's super interesting what happens, and I've been trying to learn from people this thing, but I don't know anyone who teaches, so I just keep
Energy
practicing.
work, right? It is.
I could be called that, you know, yeah, but I've never seen anyone that is like kind of having like a school, and I don't know at this point like if I need that, you know, because I kind of understand what I do already, but it's really strange for me, but it feels like I just tune into this.
So you can start this school yourself.
I don't know, but
Magical.
but it's very beautiful, and I just had like so many like beautiful feedback, and always, and yeah, so that's the kind of work that I develop here in Bali, which has to do with this third and like a second center, or like the emotional and the
Physical.
body, the sexual center. It's really like taking the intellect like out. In the session we talk for 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, sometimes to exhaustion, you know, so we really talk about everything that needs to be talked about, and then so that's like kind of intellect, emotion, and then we go to the body, and it's like just like body work for 2-3 hours. The sessions are like 4+ hours.
Wow.
So because of the level of like energy that I put in the sessions, I started just feeling like, yeah, I need to charge for this because it's like it's a lot of work, and I had to prepare myself like the day before, you know, like on what I eat, how I sleep, and then the day after I would be like, sometimes, you know, like really tired, or just after the session. So then I started just being like more energized after the session, because I started learning more about it. But yeah, it felt like correct also to start charging, you know, like and then if someone felt that they like it resonated with the work I do, but they couldn't afford it, then I would offer, okay, let's find, you know, an amount that feels like financially healthy for you, but it also will make you commit to the work, and not like, okay, I just paid like 100 rupiah, I'm not coming to the session, or, you know, but like something that feels because at the end it's like about you, you know, and that's the value that you're giving to working in something that means something to you, you know. If you're not like kind of putting your money, you know, or your something that you value, then it's just like not being serious with yourself in a way.
Yeah, that's true. I know that sometimes men ask you to teach them how to treat women, because not only you are impressed with the results, but sometimes other people who can see like 5 girls cuddling around you, you know, it's like, how do you do that, man? I need your skills. So have you ever thought of like creating a course or a program and teach men how to communicate with women and how to treat women?
I've been asked like many times, and from women, like women ask me a lot to please teach men.
Teach my man?
Or teach men in general. And for me it's been always like, how do I do this, you know, because I feel, first of all, the approach that I get from men many times is exactly why it wouldn't work for them in a way, you know?
What do you mean?
Because I feel like when I meet new people, you know, like the way I'm approaching is like more like playful. It's more like or really like wanting to engage in conversation. If I'm meeting a woman that is like beautiful, attractive to me, it's like she is beautiful and attractive, but I'm talking to a person who is beautiful and attractive. And, you know, and I'm not trying to get something from you. I'm more like used to understand that if something is flowing, I'm gonna know, and I'm gonna wait for an invitation in a way. Invitation in a symbolic way, you know, or a literal way, you know, like the person feels interested in me, wants to extend the conversation or not. If the person, the beautiful person, woman, you know, it's not showing any sign of interest, I'm not gonna push myself, no, but meet me, I'm interesting, I have things, you know, like that doesn't work ever, you know, so.
It works sometimes.
Yeah, but you can see the results, and then like with time you understand like what kind of quality of bond you're creating, you know. So yeah, when you create from this kind of superficial characteristics, it's like it burns really quick.
It's like okay,
And
I don't have energy to explain that I don't want it.
Exactly. So then it becomes like this boring, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel that it's if I would teach, like the funny thing, like whenever I started creating, because I've started like creating workshops, like writing about it. The way that I would teach it, it would be completely different to what people expect me to teach in a way. So I would probably do a lot of exercises of theater, just like dealing with failure, dealing with like getting things wrong and being able to laugh about that, being able to connect with your looser self, you know, like something that I see a lot in men is just like
huge ego.
Yeah, but it's not in a bad way, you know, because well, men and women, you know, in society we have to kind of defend the character that we have created, because it's like our
stability.
Yeah, and it's our card, you know. So and for men it gets really, really tough, you know, to be so many things and to have to be like put together also and to be cool, kind of, you know, like. And yeah, of course I have my job and I have my money situation, my emotional situation is okay. Like, yeah, I'm not missing my ex at all, you know, or I'm not struggling with money at all, you know. I'm not like, you know, so it's the
protection.
Yeah, like the fact that there's no space in society for men to kind of be open, you know, and to be vulnerable and to be like, yeah, I'm fucking lost, I don't know what I'm doing, I no one loves me, I don't have a job, I'm like, I don't know, you know. So that feels, I feel when that happens, when men are able to connect with that part, there's something that opens with women for some reason. You know, this vulnerability is like a channel that feels like, oh, we're talking in the same language in a way, you know. I'm always afraid. Yeah,
you're true.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not holding.
So it is, I'm not holding this thing, you know. So it's funny, but it's kind of a cliche, you know, like the artists or musicians, you know, artists in general are good in connecting with women, because in order to create art you need to be kind of like destroyed, you know, like or like, yeah, like connecting with the breaking of the structure, which is the masculine. The masculine is like having things put together, the things work like this, I have my life in order and everything. The artist works with the more like liquid nature of life, you know, like feminine. The more feminine, you know, like being in the middle, floating in the middle of the sea with feet just like everywhere and just like, okay, I'm just gonna go with whatever comes, you know. So it's like a more feminine nature, you know, and being able to thrive in this instability.
Yeah.
So that makes you more approachable in general, you know, and I feel, yeah, like it has to do with that basically. Yeah.
So do you think that women are also need to explore masculine energy to attract
men?
or something? Yeah, if it works one way, you know, if it works like men should be in contact with their feminine part to get on well with women. So is that the same for women? Should we kind of contact with our masculine structured side?
Absolutely. Yeah. It just works in a different way. The way I believe, you know, the way I understand. I feel that if I can put it like in like a little story, you know, like I met this girl many years ago, and we just like connected. We just met at an event, and we had like a lot of chemistry. We went for dinner, and it was like everything was like clearly like we were attracted to each other. And she told me before anything happened, like I just broke up like a couple of months ago, and I want to be celibate for 6 months because this was like really kind of hardcore for me, and I don't want to go there. So, and I was like, yeah, sure. Like I wasn't even thinking on going there, but like, yeah, for sure. Like no worries. So then we went into like more like a romantic, more soft flow. You know, we would like kiss or cuddle, you know, but never go into having sex or anything. And then, at one point, we she said like, yeah, I'm ready to, you know, like open sexually. And then she was we had sex, and it was beautiful, and it was having like this like beautiful engagement. And then at one point she was like, I feel that you're not opening emotionally, you're not opening enough. Like I feels like not opening emotionally, but like you're always stable, you're always like you have your things put together, and I'm always struggling, but I want you to share more of that that wound, you know. And I felt like like I feel like it's not where I need to go, you know. It hasn't come organically, but yeah, eventually, like, why not, you know. Like, and then she started being like really pushy with it, you know, like, come on, like, why don't you show me like your dark story or whatever, like hurt you in your life, I want to see you. And I felt like, for me personally, I came from such a story of like sadness or pain, you know, that what was difficult for me was to be in happiness. So that was like kind of my mission at that moment. But what it made me realize was that woman can be very masculine when it comes to emotions, you know. Like when she was asking me to respect her like physical sexual boundaries, I said like, yes, I'm not going to cross that one. But when it came to my emotional boundaries, I felt like she was trying to penetrate me. So I came up with this idea, you know, like I realized that we as men have physical genitals, like, you know, like active genitals, penis, you know, and
lingam.
Lingam.
Yeah, now we use the words.
Oh yeah. And women have passive genitals. Receiving. But
Yoni.
I realized Johnny. I always thought like Johnny when it's Johnny. Yeah.
Johnny, be good.
And I realized that women have like a emotional penis. And men have an emotional vagina. You know, and sometimes, like, if you think of like the social construction of like men wanting the girl to come on, let's have sex, come on, like, why are you so prude, you know, like, and women being like, you know, so men are complaining that women are never wanting to have sex, you know, like a cartoon, of course, of the situation.
Right now, here and now.
women are like, he never tells me what he feels, you know, like he never tells me his feelings, and so it's like this both like sides of you know, like the polarities, and it's like because for men it's easy to be in the active, you know, genitals, so having sex is maybe not a big deal, but for women it feels more like, hey, like, hey, slow down,
private.
you know, it's private.
That's private.
So as men we feel the same, and even stronger, I feel. Like, don't get too close to my heart, okay? Just like, yeah, it's fine. And it can take years, way longer than for a woman open sexually, for a man to open emotionally. And that happens a lot, that women can abuse men emotionally, or can just like, come on, show me your feelings. And like, can like rub her emotional penis on the man's face. It's like, no, I don't feel ready, you know, like, don't go there, you know. So
Funny.
men can feel like overwhelmed about like this. And so in that sense, if women start understanding and internalizing this idea that their masculine energy is like emotional, you can look back at relationships that you had and see how you were being abusive, you know, or too insistent with someone to, come on, open up, love me, give me the emotion, you know, like, give me your heart or something. And that feels, for a man, it feels like rapey, you know, it feels like too invasive and scary. The same way that it can feel scary, a man trying to push himself inside of you sexually, you know. So I feel that changes a lot the dynamic between men and women when women are able to understand that. Respect. And men are able to understand that also, you know, like
and respect the boundaries.
Yeah,
both
but we're
ways.
both, you know, like masculine, feminine, you know, like in different ways, like the energies are present for sure.
Yeah, that's like actually the same like in Tantra. This like first chakra is like giving and receive, like women have receiving part, and the emotional center is like giving for women and receiving for men.
Ah, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
It works like the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and then second one, the third one, the fourth one, fifth, sixth, and seven is universal for both. So we kind of have this,
like waving.
yeah, matching.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, and how can women give love and emotional things from their heart, from their fourth center, without like
being too invasive, too pushy.
Yeah, being too invasive. Yeah.
I feel the same way that you would like a man to approach you sexually, you know, just like
showing
listening,
your interest,
waiting for an invitation. You know, the same thing that I tell men, you know, like wait for a woman to invite you in, instead of pushing yourself or going with that intention in your mind, you know. And for men, you know, it's like let the man open up his story, let the man open up his wound whenever he feels like it's the moment. You know, like how to get there is creating the a safe space, and created the conditions for that to happen. So it's creating evidence, coherent evidence in time. Basically showing that you have always been kind time after time, you know, like that you're respecting. Imagine that you're talking to a little kid. That's a good thing to like visualize, you know, like in different aspects of ourselves we grow different paces, you know. So maybe some people sexually they are like 12 years old. Maybe professionally they're like 32, but sexually they didn't explore anything after 12, so they stay at 12, you know. So sometimes when we talk to other people, like there are like places that are that didn't grow anymore because there was like a trauma or something that we got stuck there. We're not going to go in that place anymore. So when you talk to that person, you're talking to a 12-year-old, you're talking to a 15-year-old, a 5-year-old.
Emotionally.
Yeah, you know, a 15-year-old that was bullied, you know, by something. So someone is not just going to go and open up like this, you know, about something that was so painful. So it's being able to understand that we need to be loving and careful just the same way that you would be with a kid. You know, you're not going to push them to come on, go like and do this, you know, like it's like you're not going to tell a baby to just walk, you know, like oh, stupid baby, come on, like, oh, it's embarrassing.
Stop
like
crawling.
It's not walking, you know, like it's that's
Yeah, that's our structure.
yeah, just like being able to,
Expectations.
yeah,
How it
doesn't
should
work
be.
all the time, you know, like takes time to develop that. Being not projecting our own fears or, you know, like struggles in the other person and wanting to them to behave in the way that we would like them to, but just listening, you know. And sometimes a person may never open up or go away, you know, or whatever, but
How do you feel if we talk about the first center, the physical one? So men are more open and they're like sometimes can be invasive. For women, the second center, the emotional thing, is just like how you told, like emotional penis that we are.
yeah, it's
wobbling
just like
around.
it's in the sense that I feel women have a way better awareness of their emotional world, of their emotions in general. You know, like for many men, you ask them like, "How do you feel?"
Yeah, yeah.
They just don't know.
They say, I feel that it is wrong, or I feel that that
It's-
person did.
It's a
them.
start,
It's
you know.
not an emotion.
But sometimes it's like good or bad, and that's it. You know, like black or white. Okay, let's
Gray
start from
and
there.
orange.
Exactly.
Gray and orange.
So yeah, like basically, yeah, gray and orange. You know, like start like kind of figuring out like what is that you're feeling and being patient. You know, just understanding that for you is really easy
Yeah.
to understand what's happening emotionally. It's invisible for you because you've always had it. It's like how things work. It's like, of course, it's you know, it's like
Sadness, disappointment, excitement.
and maybe for
Ranges.
men it's like a similar thing, but sexually, like okay, like yeah, let's have it like you know,
Don't you
like
feel anything?
yeah, like it's just
Come
like
on.
sexual. It's yeah, masturbation, blah blah blah. It's just sex. It's fun. It's like blah blah blah. You know, but for women it's like completely different like story.
Sacred thing.
It's more sacred.
a lot
It's
of
like you're
stories.
open, you know, and there's always like
vulnerable.
stories. Yeah, so you're gonna be more careful, of course. You know, for me it's like no, it's out there. You know, it's like it's always so it's kind of
It's really important to understand that.
yeah.
I think it can change the world.
Oh, sure. So for women and for women to understand that this like safetiness, like the kind of security and like confidence they have when it comes to emotions, it's something that is not how it happens for men. You know, like having that clarity.
Yes,
you know?
Yes.
So there's
And
like
we're
a huge
trying.
advantage, you know, and there's a huge like kind of blind spot for men in that sense, you know, that I'm of course generalizing, you know, but yeah, like
Let's
taking
say,
note,
like,
you know, like
classical man
this
and classical woman.
yeah, so
Traditional view.
understanding, remembering that, and then if you want to connect, like see that if you see that the other person doesn't have many tools, they're not very fluent in their way of speaking about emotions, visualizing, okay, like this little kid, I'm talking to a little kid, this person didn't learn more tools and it got stuck when he was 10 maybe. He said, I'm good, I'm bad, you know, like, I could be better, you know, and that's as far as they would go, you know, because depending on where you come from, you know, like you're not allowed to be emotional, you know, like even for women, I see that, like from Russian women I've worked with a lot, you know, like I feel it's a very kind of hard culture, you know, and so there's like this very, very strict way of being, you know, just like emotions are not a thing, because being too emotional is being like a loser, is being like, and if you're a loser, you
will die.
You will basically die, you know, you're gonna
There's
be
war
left
happening,
alone,
you know.
and you're gonna, yeah, like lose your value, you're gonna be left alone and you die if you're alone, you know, so you need to show, so it has a reason, of course, it's not for nothing that these things are like this, and it takes a while to change that parameter,
dynamic,
like you need like to give a lot of evidence constantly and coherently in time in order for the person to feel like, oh, okay, it can be different, I believe you, I can jump to the other belief, you know, but it takes a lot of time.
So physical, emotional, and what happens on an intellectual level between classical man and classical woman? How do you see this one?
Intellectually, I feel in general terms, I feel that men are actually, I don't know. I don't
Maybe
have
both
like a clear.
Are open.
Yeah, like it
both
feels like
are open. We can easily exchange our information, right? But it's when it comes to emotions and body.
Yeah, exactly. Because actually, like the intellect is related to the non-physical.
Yeah.
Emotional is semi-physical. It's sensorial and sensitive. You know, like it's like emotions and senses and feelings. Like it's just like body. The middle of the interface, and then the body is just like physical, it's tangible. So I feel like, like
the lower, the more problems we have.
I mean, it's like what is crystallized, you know. So the higher is more like more quantum. It's more like potential, the imaginary.
That's why when we meet for a first date, we just talking. It's easy to talk. Yeah. And it's not so easy to go deeper.
Depends on the date, but well.
It depends. Yeah. Okay, I'm not talking about your dates. They are out of the box. I talk about classical, you know, things. Classical.
Conversation is the less invasive.
For both, for men and women. Okay. What would you recommend both masculine and feminine part of the world to work with?
Being funny.
Okay. Yeah. How to be funny? Teach me now. I'm too serious. I feel like I take this interview too serious.
Too serious?
Yeah. I feel like.
I guess like being more playful, just like doing activities that challenge the ideas that you have of yourself. Like not taking your like don't respect too much your reputation, you know, like the less you care about that, the more like you're being finally, you know. So
it's hot here.
Dancing.
I'm going to undress. You ready?
If you are like, if you have people that really like your jokes, that really make you feel happy about yourself, spend more time with those people. If you have a place where you're feeling like a dance venue or activity or anything that just like makes you feel like funny, is a really, really good indicator, you know. And I would like definitely recommend that. It's like the most underestimated tool in history.
Be funny.
Yeah, be funny. You know, like I work with with the plants, with plant medicine, since I was very young. So I had like my guides, you know, my teachers in a way from that world. And something that they tell me always is just to be kind of guided by beauty and fun, you know. And it may sound like very superficial at first glance, you know, but they tell me, well, if you want to have a boring life, have a boring life. If you want to have boring conversations and interactions, have boring conversations and interactions. But you can also have fun. You know, you can bring fun into your life. When it's not feeling fun, no one wants to play with you.
Aww.
You know, if you're boring, no one wants to play with you. I was coming out of a breakup, and this like entities or creatures or whatever they are, they were just telling me, "You were boring. You were so boring."
I miss
yeah,
her.
yeah, because you were boring. You were boring, and it was like, wow, yeah, I was fucking boring, you know. And it's such a like easy guideline. Same with beauty, you know, like you want to create like beautiful moments in your life. You want to create beautiful interactions, memories. Do it, you know. You want to have ugly memories, ugly interactions, go for it, you know. It's your choice. But it's these two guidelines for me are like really, really crucial. And it, again, like it may sound like very superficial at first. It's not like just like physical beauty.
Just have fun in this life and enjoy
It's a really good way to guide yourself. That's why I feel it's kind of, it can be interpreted as something that is like mundane or like with no value, but it's actually really deep. If you see any big guru, they're very funny.
Yeah.
You know? If
Most
they tell
of
me,
them.
most of them, you know, but if they tell me something always, it's like, be more funny, you know? Or if you're getting too serious, we're in trouble.
Yeah, they say that the fourth heart chakra, esoteric people say that it's about love and about joy and humor and like feeling joy. Feeling love and joy is kind of
it's higher vibration.
Similar frequencies.
Totally.
Similar frequencies.
And it has to do with the nature of the mandala nature of reality. That everything goes away. Everything just like
not serious.
Disappears. So, and everything is absurd, you know, at one point. So the more you're able to integrate these ideas, like we're just like having all this problem in a rock floating in the middle of nowhere, you know, and we're alone in this place. What is this? You know, it's so weird. So why would we take so serious like all the constructions that we're being faced with? So it's able to take that distance from
so
once in a while.
Life is comedy, right?
It
if
is.
you choose it.
It is.
Can you share some tips how to improve your sense of humor? Because if you are only around people who always can laugh at your jokes, it's like not growing, right?
As you're not.
You just go to the same people. They are your children, for example, and they adore your jokes because they're 5. But how to improve this skill to see funny things in everything? How to become your own comedy producer?
Yeah, it's connected to like just being able to love yourself in places where you used to punish yourself. That's why it's so like fun, laughter. It's a release of stress, basically. So wherever you're not able to laugh at yourself, it's because there's stress. So when you're able to, like what a comedian does, you know, when he's on stage, is he says things that we're all feeling like tight, you know, we're feeling tight in that part of our collective cultural mind, you know, and then he says the thing that we were all feeling but no one was able to say, and he just phrases it, like it articulates it in a way that is like, and then like everyone laughs, you know, because it's releasing stress for these parts of ourselves. So it has to do a lot with being able to laugh at things, you know, like one tip or an exercise that you can do, especially if you're going through like a crisis, you know, like if you're feeling like very, like you're punishing yourself, or an exercise that I give is just to write it down, write all the hard critical messages you're getting, and then when you're done, just push it a little bit further. Just go a bit more extreme, and being like so mean that at one point it starts being like, okay, like that's, you know, it's like it's too much, you know. Just take it to a bit too much, you know, and that allows you to kind of like laugh at it, which life does anyway, you know. Like sometimes you're feeling like the biggest problem in the world, and then life like throws another one on top of that. That happens a lot, you know. And whatever was stressing you just a moment ago is like, pff, like that's nothing, you know. Like you can feel like you release that stress. So you can generate this like over stressing on your own. Like you can practice like just laughing at things that may be stressful to you. Find the funny in the tragic. Laugh at yourself. Like don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. So that's why like don't be scared of like destroying your dignity, your status, your like idea of yourself. If you do it on your own, it's fine, you know. Just like disrespect yourself a little bit.
Disrespect yourself.
Yeah, because sometimes like these ideas that we have is just like just places that were just super boring, you know, and like they're just closing possibilities for us.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, work with art. That is also something that it's really powerful. Really powerful, especially for people that are like in the business world. It's a really powerful tool to connect with drawing, writing. If you're feeling like pain, like sadness from a breakup or like from the heart, writing poetry is really powerful also. Just allow yourself to be more creative in general. That's, I feel like, the most powerful tool, like more than any line of thought, you know. I feel like connecting to art and nature, it's available for everyone, and it's extremely effective as a healing path.
Healing path. So
Yeah.
no need for expensive workshops or like yoga classes.
No,
seminars.
There are many amazing, and nothing against that, you know. Like, but in your body you have everything you need. The school is here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. It was an amazing conversation. I will definitely watch this interview myself several times, make notes for sure. Thank you so much for being here with us. Please subscribe and ask any questions. Put your comments below, and yeah, we are happy to communicate in comments with you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Felipe.
Terima kasih.
Yeah, can you massage my butt, please? It's square now.
Okay, we're gonna go there.
Do this.